Hello, everybody out there in the universe and in the internet and everywhere else. This is once again the USA Late Night Live. I am your host, Forrest Londa. Here with me today is introduce yourself.
I am Jacob Holton. You guys saw me a couple weeks ago when I was banging on about who only knows what at that point.
Everything and anything, Jacob. We
Yeah.
know it. Right. Well, we are back after a week hiatus after um, international break and here to talk all things Everton. On the schedule today, we have the 2-0 loss to City. A little disappointing, but also not something that we can all get too up in arms about. We are looking ahead to Tottenham on Saturday. Very tough game. And then we were talking a bit about the continued extended injury to Jared Branthwaite, and then one little transfer rumor that I thought was really interesting. Um, but let's just get right into it today, and we're going to talk about City 2, Everton nil. Jacob, tough game.
Yeah, but I thought there were moments in that game where I'm like, this Everton side looked like they could pretty much play at their peak against any team in the Premier League. We did see it at some points against Liverpool when we played Liverpool. I mean, in the second half they dominated them. In the first half, I thought they played really well against Manchester City. They created a really good opportunity for Beto. Um, Obviously, in the end, the quality shone through for Manchester City, and there's just obviously you shouldn't be leaving Erling Haaland alone in the box twice because in the end that's what does them in. They just leave him alone and he punishes them. So,
Ooh, excuse me.
but I didn't think it was the worst performance I've seen from them this season.
Yeah, the first half was definitely a lot better than the second. I think you really could call it the Element and Die show all throughout that first half. It seemed to me that Element and Die came out with a point to prove, and did everything in his power to try to get Everton a goal and try to get a lead and try to get us to a point where we could hold on to something. Um, he was taking that ball around players like it was nothing. He was smooth like butter, man. It was really fun to watch him when he was at his creative best, and I don't think he's had the chance to show all that this season because a lot of the goals, a lot of the play has been through Jack Grealish this season. So Ndai getting to be the main man was good to see. He created some great chances. He created that chance that Beto should have put away. I know we can sit there and say, oh, it's just ahead of him. I don't know, man. You're a Premier League striker, dude. Like it is what it is. Like I can't get too upset at Beto. We didn't really have anything else for him. We didn't really create too much. And Dye had a good shot on target after a good janky run from the right. But it just after that first half, the second half, we came out. We looked like we were going to we're gonna press and be in the game a bit more in the second half, and it just didn't really work out. And one thing I noticed throughout that game was the space that City were finding behind our fullbacks.
Yeah.
That was what undid us for the first goal. Was it Rico Lewis or it was
Uh,
City's left
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly? Yeah, Rico O'Reilly, left back. Just constantly they were overloading those wings and just playing simple balls behind our fullbacks that weren't getting covered, weren't getting tracked, and he had acres of space justifying Erling Haaland sitting in the middle of the box, and everybody's backpedaling, everybody's going back to goal, and one thing that I've noticed, everybody was ball watching. Everybody was just watching that ball, and nobody was saying, "Oh, there's strikers right here. Let me body up to him and make this difficult." Free header, free shot both times. Frustrating. Um, and doubly frustrating too now that Branthwaite has this extended injury that we're going to have to continue to watch Tarkovsky and Keane together. Look, Keane has had a really good start to the season. Tarkovsky has struggled at times, but at the end of the day, they're both older. They're both in their 30s. They're both limited defenders, and that means that in these big games where you need a defender with a little more verve and a little more ability to see what's happening or kind of replay, it didn't really happen.
Yeah. And on that first goal, you mentioned the ball watching. You could see it on Michael Keane, who was in position to mark Erling Haaland, and
Yeah,
he's just watching, and he runs right past him
runs right past him. Yep.
into the space where, admittedly, Erling Haaland probably was going to play into, but then he just holds up, and the winger finds him, and it's an easy header. But yeah, the Branthwaite thing is tough. Um, he has an injury to start the preseason, and everyone's like, oh, well, he'll probably be back at the start of the season. Start of the season comes, he's not back yet. Oh, he'll be back in a couple of weeks. Then there's another setback. Then there's another setback, and now he's had surgery. So hopefully the surgery fixed the issue. I have seen some speculation that some people want to move Garner to right back and move O'Brien into center back. I wouldn't be opposed to that idea. We've seen James Garner play right back, and we've seen him do it well. And he's a good player. He's flexible, but yeah, on City, it's just at the end of the day, they're still Manchester City, and we're still building a squad that can compete. So I mean,
Right.
you can't really be too mad about that result, even though there was a point to be had there. I think.
Yeah, I would agree, and some might even argue three. Again,
Yep.
that first half, I thought we matched City blow for blow. Again, they spurned some chances. They found joy early on those flanks and continued to exploit that in the second half. But we definitely looked like a side that wanted to try. We looked like a side that had players that wanted to try, and this wasn't just sit back, hope for the best, and see if we can take a 0-0. This was a side that played with a little bit less fear than maybe we've seen in the past under a Sean Dyche or anybody else, really even David Moyes back in the day. You know, it's tough looking at these big six away games and big six games in general. We all want this squad to be at its, to fulfill its potential, whatever that potential may be. And we're still figuring that out as the season goes on. When we play these games against the cities and the Liverpools and the Arsenals, etc., we get a better idea of where this squad is truly at, quality-wise, and what they're truly capable of in this league. Just last week before City, we're looking at the league. We're in the top half. We're in the top 8. We're flying high. We lose to City. A few other teams around us pick up results. We're sitting in 12th now at 11 points. It's going to be a real roller coaster of a season, and we all need to buckle in. I don't think there's any close threat of relegation. I would also say there's probably not too like we'll see what happens. Grealish was obviously missing for this game. We're still going to be without Branthwaite. Probably might even be out without Branthwaite for 3 more months. Honestly, I mean,
yeah.
Know what the extent of the surgery was and how bad. Like, it must have been a tear if it was that bad that required surgery. We don't even know if he's going to come back as the same player after that. He seems quite mentally prepared to do that, and that's awesome to see. But you would expect that of him. He's a 22, 23-year-old guy who expects to be able to play in the England team and get into that World Cup squad. I'm sure he's got some bitter disappointment about not being able to play. But there's a lot of question marks around this team and a lot of spaces to be filled with that need quality in them. I would say the midfield is a particular worry for me right now. I've already kind of talked about how Gonagay is starting to worry me, that he looks like he's taking some steps back in his play. Again, the guy's getting old, and it's hard to rely on a 35-year-old to play 90 minutes week in, week out.
Yeah.
James Garner, as good as he is, and as much as he's improved this season, I still struggle to see that place in midfield for him, at least when he has to kind of play life support for Gonagay at times. And I'd be interested, and I'll have to take a look at this before our next show, but I'm going to take a look at Gonagay's numbers this time of the season compared to this time of the season last year, and see. Obviously, it's a different team this year. The way we play, the involvement he has in the play, he's on the ball a lot more, will make a difference in that. But at the same time, like, what we're gonna have to see. It's good that we saw Merlin Roll come back. That was a real positive, and honestly, he came in and it kind of looked like he played on the right. And had a bit more of an attacking impetus to him. He got a shot on goal. He got himself involved, and hopefully that continues and we see him involved more. There might even be a case for him to start going into the game on Saturday. We'll see where that might be. I don't know, but maybe him coming back and Gardner moving to right back is the impetus we need as a team to move forward.
Yeah, I thought Marlon Roll had a nice little cameo. That was a good header that he put. It was just wide and hit the side netting, but it was from a really tough angle, and he still found the frame of the goal. It just wasn't on the right side of it. I thought he had a good cameo. God, it just Irabunum's not ready yet, and it's not his fault. He's doing what he can, but he has to be in the squad because we don't have any other midfield cover. So he's trying his best when he comes in, and he does have some moments where you see the quality. You're like, he could be something. He could be something a little bit down the road.
How consistent is that?
Yeah. I mean, Darren O'Berry came on. He was non-existent again, which is disappointing. And Dibbling came on very late and just didn't really have much of a chance to make a mark. But even him, I thought he had a couple of little moments there at the end of the game where I'm like, okay, maybe we could see him a little bit more. So
yeah. Well, lots of disappointment in the extent that we all hate see Everton losing. But a chance to rectify it pretty quickly. We come now to Tottenham on Saturday. In my mind, a really tough game. Just a little bit about Tottenham. They are on 14 points this season. They sit in 6th in the league, same points and goal differential as Chelsea, and just above Sunderland on goal difference. It's going to be a tough game. Tottenham are a weird team this year. They have not lost away from home so far this Premier League season, but they also have only won one game at home. I don't think, and I will probably take some time tonight and watch a couple Tottenham games to get a better idea. But I don't know exactly how they've started to play under Thomas Frank. I know that they had a struggle against Monaco in their Champions League game. Was it Champions League? No.
Yeah.
Europe Champions League. They're Champions League. Am I going crazy? All right.
Yeah.
It was 0-0, and it seemed like from what I was seeing from a few people on Twitter who were watching the game that they thought that there were spaces for us to attack Tottenham on Saturday. And what I'll say about Spurs is they have a lot of different ways they can hurt you, man. They've got a lot of quality in that team. You could look at a guy like Jed Spence who's starting to come into his own, Mickey Van de Ven at center back, Xavi Simons, Bergval, Bentancur, Sarr, Palhinha, Matthias Tel, Richarlison. I mean, the list kind of. Mohamed Kudus has had a great start to the season. He's equal on assists with Grealish on 4. Tottenham have a lot of ways they can hurt us. And I think it's going to be a really damn difficult game.
Yeah. And we've talked about, obviously, City exploited the wings. And before that, I mean, everyone knows in the Premier League that if you want to attack Everton, you attack them on the wings because that's where they're the weakest. If you attack them through the middle, it's going to be a lot harder. You can create some chances there, especially if you attack James Tarkowski more than you attack Michael Keane. But if you want to really get after these guys, put some pace on the wings, have them run at Mikalenko, have them run at Jake O'Brien, and really put those guys into a bind and make more, make Everton commit more resources to trying to stop those runs down the wing. They have a ton of really high quality players and they haven't been off to a flying start this season, but they're still a really good side. But I don't know. I think they can be had, especially at home. I know you said that they haven't lost away from home this season, but I honestly think that if you set up right and you get the right players in there, Jack Grealish comes back in. Iliman Ndiaye just had a great match against Manchester City. I think you could get all 3 points against this Tottenham team and really give yourself a nice little boost.
Yeah. It was really interesting. I was really surprised to see Ndiaye stay on the right side against City. I was not expecting that. I really thought that he would either put Alcaraz on the right or put Dilling on the right. And to see Ndiaye on the right and Alcaraz on the left was really interesting. I thought it proved ineffective for Alcaraz. Alcaraz at his best is when he's in the middle and he's able to get on the turn and run. And that works well in the middle. When he's on the wing, he doesn't have that trickery or that change of motion to really get by guys. And you saw that quite a few times against City. But I think Ndiaye is really starting to enjoy that right side. I think he's really starting to find ways to manipulate the ball and manipulate defenders to be able to get quality service and quality shots on goal from that right side. And that's really exciting for me because I didn't like the Ndiaye experiment on the right at the beginning of the season. I thought it was wasted potential for him. I thought all he was going to get the chance to do was finish off moves from Grealish. And I mean, that still might be the case. Grealish is coming back in the squad and things are going to start rolling through him again. But he really is starting to find some moves and find the skills that he needs to be able to turn defenders on that right side. And I mean, I would love to see the balance of play shift a bit more from Grealish towards Ndiaye and allowing him to take a bit more of a center stage. It's going to be a tough game. Look, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have a lot of foresight when it comes to a game against a team like Spurs because these Big Six games are just so unpredictable for Everton. Sometimes they show up and they are able to win and throw themselves around, and sometimes they get slapped. And I have a real deep fear that we might get slapped around on Saturday. I don't want to say that. I'm not going to sit here and predict that we lose 3-0, but I could see it happening. I think this Tottenham side are just starting to come together. They're not quite fully there yet, but a team that hasn't lost away from home in the Premier League so far this season, that's not something to turn your nose. Now, admittedly, they haven't played any crazy teams away from home. They played Brighton away, they played Leeds away. Go through this. They beat West Ham away, and then they beat City away. Towards the beginning of the season, where City was still finding their feet, and that's kind of a game they tend to always win is City away. So I've got a bit of trepidation when it comes to this game. I think the multiple ways they can hurt us. I think the speed and the youth they have in the team could hurt us. I think Thomas Frank is a clever, good manager. And I just really hope that we aren't naive in the way we set up and don't give them too much space and too much respect and really try to take it to them a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, so if by the sounds of it, I mean, this is probably outside of Manchester City, this is going to be one of their tougher away matches that they played so far this season.
100%, yep.
And I think Everton are in good form right now. They had the win a couple weeks ago. They won 2-1. They played City hard. I mean, obviously they lost, but they weren't like ransacked by Manchester City.
Right.
They just, yeah. I mean, so I think they're showing pretty well. And I think they have shown against these teams that have a lot more quality that they can compete against these teams. It's really up to David Moyes to A, pick the right players for this, and B, set them up for success. Everyone's got to understand what their assignment is, and nobody can wander away from that assignment. And you have to be really, really purposeful in your preparation for this match, or else you're right. They could come out and they could steamroll Everton, and it'll be like, wow, what the hell just happened? But
first loss in the Hill Dick.
Yeah, and we don't want that yet.
We don't.
We're not ready for that.
Go a full season without losing there. That'd be nice. I mean, let me ask you this: who do you think is going to start up top?
I think it'll be Beto because Barry hasn't shown anything, and it's tough. It's really tough because obviously you want to play Thierno Barry because he is, quote unquote, the future at the striker position. You just spent a lot of money on him in the in the summertime, but he hasn't shown anything yet. He hasn't shown that he deserves to get a start. And this would be a really tough match to throw him in to start. And I think it would be a really weird choice. It'll be Beto. And that's, it's whatever, because neither one of them are going to score a goal. I would imagine, it's going to run through Jack Grealish and Iliman Ndiaye. That's where the team runs through right now. It doesn't run through a striker.
No, I mean, both our strikers are kind of glorified poachers. Yeah, I think Beto will start as well. I don't know, maybe David Moyes has kind of made his mind up about where he sees Thierno Barry's future at Everton, and that might not be as a starting striker, and it might not even be at the club for very long. I don't know. It's also frustrating, man. Excuse me. But to piggyback off that, there has been an interesting rumor that's come out today about Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
That he wants to leave Saudi Arabia after almost 2 years being there, and that Everton and West Ham, naturally, are linked to his Premier League return. And I think that's awesome. I'm just straight. I think that'd be awesome. Even just alone for the second half of the season, I think Ivan Toney would be awesome. I think he would be the kind of striker we're really looking for. A bit more of a physical presence, has a scoring touch, used to the Premier League. Yes, he's been out in the wilderness in Saudi Arabia for a year and a half. He's not like he has like BS for teammates. Riyad Mahrez is on his team, but at the end of the day, like that sounds really enticing. The issue is like, is that somebody we can like realistically bring to Everton, like entice to come to this club? I don't know. He's a London boy. He played at Brentford the last time he was in Premier League and for most of his career. And I mean, with West Ham lurking, it's London again for him. I mean, I think that's a trend you see with players who play in London for a period of time. They don't typically leave London easily.
Yeah, but then again, if he's going to take a meeting, or however this works, if you're going to talk to both Everton and you're going to talk to West Ham, I get it. He's a London boy, but like in terms of which team would you rather play for? Do you want to get service from Jack Grealish and Iliman Ndiaye, or do you want to get service from whoever's playing on. Jared Bowen, sure.
Lucas Paqueta.
Yeah, Lucas Paqueta, and they do have, but like I still think Everton's a better choice for him if he wants to get back into the England side. I mean, look what the Jack Grealish choice did for him. I mean, he's been one of the best players in the whole Premier League so far this season, and if he keeps playing like this, he'll definitely be in the England side in the World Cup. So I think it would be awesome, and I think it would do a lot of good for the hole that Everton have at the striker position right now. And if you have to sell Beto or send Barry on loan to make it work, to get him in here, and he wants to come in here and he wants to play, I think it's worth a shot.
Yep, I agree. I would really, really enjoy seeing Ivan Toney in Everton. The guy wanted us to sign back when he was still at Brentford. It never seemed like a realistic thing. And then obviously he went to Saudi Arabia. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We're still a couple months out from the January transfer window, and that's in a notoriously crap window for most clubs. Not a lot goes on, and the players that are available aren't typically very good. Ivan Toney would be a bit of a difference maker in that regard. Well, let me get a prediction out of you for Everton Tottenham real quick.
I'll go 2-2. It'll be a weird. I think it is going to be kind of a weird match, and there is probably going to be a lot of scoring. I just don't see either team really keeping a clean sheet. But yeah, 2-2. 2-2 sounds about right.
So I'm going to say 3-2 to Everton, even though I was all doom and gloom about us losing. I can't really find it in me to predict 2 losses in a row for this team. I think Jack Grealish coming back is going to make a big difference. I really, really hope that Mikalenko and whoever plays at right back, which will most likely be Jake O'Brien, do well on their defensive assignments. It's going to be tough. Again, whoever besides Kudus, whoever Tottenham decide to throw away, it's going to be a lot for us to handle. But I do think we have goals in us. I do think this game has goals in it. And I think Jack Grealish coming back off the back of what was a pretty good team performance overall, despite the loss, is going to make quite a big difference for the side. I do think we will get 3 points. And if we don't, then I'm still correct because I did think that Spurs might come out and hurt us. So 3-2 or 3-0 loss. Either way, that's my prediction.
One thing for sure is that Richarlison is probably scoring a goal because
I know, man.
Pretty much any time he plays against Everton at Tottenham, he scores a goal, and then he gets really mad about it. It's really funny. He
definitely does not like scoring.
He hates it. Yeah. It just seems like he hates it every time he scores. He gets so mad, and I'm like,
hey man, it's your job. it's okay.
Yeah.
And the fan, he'll get a nice reception from the fans. I don't know if he'll start.
It'll be cool for him to see the stadium too. You know, I mean, after
I'm sure there'll be some quotes from it.
Yeah, after playing at Goodison for so long, he's him seeing that stadium is going to be awesome. I don't know. I know a lot of people are like, he doesn't play for us anymore. We shouldn't care. I don't know. I still have like this really soft spot for him. I still love that lad.
He 100% had Everton's best interest at heart for everything that he did on the pitch, off the pitch, etc. He never got himself in trouble, kept his head down, interacted with the fans, only ever rose to pressure on the pitch. But that's fine. He's a strong-nosed, strong-willed Brazilian striker, and that served him well in the Premier League so far. He's a very unique player, somebody I miss a lot at Everton. I don't know if he would really fit our number 9 role as it stands right now, but he would be an awesome asset to have at the club still. But
man, could you imagine watching him with Iliman and Dye?
That'd be wild. I don't even know because he would play on the left typically, so he would be able to take. He would definitely start up top. In terms of the quality we have right now, he'd be starting up top, and it'd be really interesting to see how that would work. But well, let's get on to our Q&A segment, guys. This was always going to be a short show because my mind is fried. Just like this next question, what is your go-to takeout order? I'm sure it's something fried. It's not for me, but Jacob, what do you think?
You are correct. There's a Thai spot right here in my neighborhood, and
take my answer. Go ahead, keep going. Just talk.
There's a Thai spot here in my neighborhood, and I'll tell you, if anybody ever comes to Cincinnati, Ohio, I'm telling you, it's the best Thai restaurant in the city, and nobody knows about it, and it's awesome. The place is called Buddha Barn, and all of the food there is awesome. You pick anything out on the menu and it's going to taste absolutely delicious. The portion size is going to be massive. You will definitely have some for the next day and probably the next day after that. And the flavors are phenomenal. I love that place, and it's a short walk from my house. So
Nice.
anytime I'm like, man, I really want takeout, I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just order some Thai food and we'll go from there.
Beautiful. Well, my answer wasn't Thai food. It's actually Vietnamese food. I like pho. Pho is probably my go-to takeout, especially as it gets colder, man. Just that rich broth, especially when it's like good pho, man. There's one place near me. I can't remember the name, but because I always order delivery. I'm actually just gonna go on damn DoorDash and look it up because I need to. It's like pho 5 Up or something, or pho live. I can't quite remember. DoorDash thinks I'm a robot. It won't even load up.
It is a great time of year to be eating pho. I mean, we are getting into that time.
Where are you at? Come on.
Come on now. We got a show to do, internet. Let's go.
Literally. It's not even. What do you mean it's not on my past orders? I just ordered it. Well, it's probably because it's closed right now. Regardless, pho or like a banh mi as well. I'm like a closeted fat guy, so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get a whole large thing of pho and a banh mi for afterwards. It's like, I love banh mi, man. There's something like that sandwich when it's got like the head cheese, the pate and stuff on it, some nice like barbecued pork, the daikon radish, carrots, pickled daikon radish and carrots, pickled jalapeno, some cilantro. Man, just nothing beats that for me. It's just delicious. Just
when there's something about when you find like the Asian cuisine spot of what you're looking for and they know how to nail things and you're just like, this is perfect. Please never change and please never leave me.
Amen. All right. No more food. I just ate. I don't want to eat again. Our next question is one that we probably answered like 4 times in 18 different ways over the past month. But who is the starting striker for you, and how do you solve the striker problem? I don't know. Beto, I guess. I was saying Barry because I want to see the guy given a chance. I don't think he's ever going to be able to do anything without a run of games up top where he can learn. But that just doesn't seem to be forthcoming. And David Moyes just doesn't seem to trust him or believe in his ability as a player enough to give him that chance to have that run of games. Look, maybe Beto has a stinker, gets dragged off at halftime. Barry comes in at halftime and actually plays well and scores. I mean, if that happens, awesome, amazing. Now we can start to say, okay, let's see this young guy develop. He's starting to get his confidence. He's starting to move. I thought he came on against City. Yes, he was fairly anonymous, and he's floating out wide to pick up the ball and drag it inside. And look, at the end of the day, like we just need to see a striker do something. But more than anything, we just need to see a striker score goals. That's what they're there for.
I'm starting to wonder if Everton will ever find like a real, like bona fide Premier League, every single match, first name on the team sheet striker ever again. Because ever since I'm starting to think that Romelu Lukaku put a curse on the club when he left for Manchester United. Because ever since he left,
his mother put a curse on the club.
We have not had that striker that you're just like every week you're like, no question, who's starting up top. Like for a time, there has been guys, Dominic Calvert-Lewin had his time. There's been a couple other guys, but like none of them have stuck. None of them have been like the guy who you're like, all right, cool. We finally found our striker to replace Romelu Lukaku. And that's not a hard guy that's not an easy guy to replace. Don't get me wrong. Like, he was one of the best strikers in the Premier League when he left for Manchester United, but you'd expect them to find somebody who could bang in 10 goals a season consistently. And they just haven't. Just haven't. And hopefully Barry turns into that guy. I would love that. That would be awesome because we need it. Yeah. we need it bad.
It's a very blatant missing piece of the puzzle of this Everton team right now. It is very obvious every game that not having a striker is hurting us pretty desperately when it comes to finishing off moves. I mean, look, we spent a good amount of money on Tierno Barry. With that, there was an expectation that he was going to be able to perform, and that hasn't happened yet. And some might even say that he looks far less worth the value that we spent on him. My friend Danny, calling you out now, would say that he's already basically given up on him as a striker. I get it. he hasn't shown much. He's other than throwing a strop and kind of acting frustrated the whole time on the pitch. I just think that one, we haven't had the money to spend on a striker for a long time, and now that we've had, maybe was the wrong choice, and it's just the ghost of transfers past kind of haunting us again as we struggle to find the players we really need and the quality we really need. This team is still building, and I'm sure that within the next 2 to 3 years we will find a very capable striker, or Barry becomes that capable striker, whatever it may be. Um, but it is a frustration right now. Um, I would, again, I want to stick to my guns and say that I would like Barry to start because I want him to get the chance to develop. And at the end of the day, if it's really not there and he's not going to start, then I don't think there's a place for him in this club anymore. Obviously, I mean, look, he hasn't been here long. That's a tough thing to say. But when you sign a young guy, you spend a lot of money on him. He can't get into the starting lineup. He gets dragged off constantly at halftime or after 60 minutes. He can't start 2 games consistently. Neither of these strikers are really starting 2 games consistently much. Like Beto's the only one who's done it so far. But at the end of the day, you look at that. David Moyes has been a little critical of him in the press, just been very gently critical of him, and it just seems like he's not fully happy, fully in. Maybe he's just in his own head a little bit too much and struggling to adapt to this move. But again, I want him to start. I want him to play. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything unless he plays. Maybe there were promises that he'd be the starting striker when he signed, and that's why he was so eager to come. But yeah, it's still very much up in the air for him. And last question, another new boy. When do you start giving Dibbling consistent minutes and starts, Jacob? What do you got? What do you got?
I have been kind of wondering about Tyler Dibbling because now it kind of seems like he's blocked on all sides by guys he's just not going to be able to get in front of for minutes. I mean, on one side you have Jack Grealish, and you're not going to put him on the bench like at all, unless he gets injured or you want to, dock his minutes a little bit so he doesn't just totally fizzle out by the end of the year. And if you're going to be starting Illiman and Dye on the right, I mean, Illiman and Dye is arguably, outside of Jack Grealish, the best player at the club. So can he play through the middle as like a 10 type role? I don't know. So, I mean, right now, there's nowhere to play him unless you're going to move him around. So, I mean, when? I don't know. Like, I mean, because now you don't have the League Cup to give him minutes in. The FA Cup doesn't start for another little while. So, I don't know. I have no idea when they're going to actually get him some minutes. I have no clue.
He won't start getting minutes until we get into the December, January time, when the games start to load up in December, and then when AFCON starts in January and Dye and Gay go away. I think that's when you'll start to see Tyler Dibbling be a lot more involved in this team. I don't want to say I don't have sympathy for Tyler Dibbling, but the guy knew what he was signing up for when he signed for us. He knew that he was going to be playing second fiddle. I'm sure he was told, and he signed after Jack Grealish signed. So he knew that he was coming into a side that had talent in the positions that he could play in. So I doubt he's very frustrated. I understand that he's still a young guy and still learning his trade, and still, he's coming on and finding these flashes of and moments where he's able to get on the pitch. But I don't think we're going to really see him start to get consistent minutes and even a start or two until the games start to become 2 a week. When that happens, he'll start to play, and then we'll get an idea of who Tyler Dibbling really is as a player and what he might do at Everton. But for now, just give it time with him. Give the kid time, just like the same way we need to give Tierno Barry time. At the end of the day, like, I think we're just all a little too up in arms about the whole situation in the club right now. We are all so eager to see this club move forward after the horrible 5, 6, 7, 8 years that we've had of stagnation and regression, really.
Yeah.
Totally get it. I understand the frustration. I'm not an everyday match-going fan. I just watch it on TV and go over when I can. So I'm not putting all my money and time and effort into going to these matches. But at the end of the day, we all just need to take a step back. Understand that this is a season of transition. Wherever we finish the season, as long as we don't get relegated, it's going to be okay. it's gonna be frustrating. And I agree with this guy, Andy Sims, that we do need a new right back, and that I agree is probably a more pertinent area in terms of the balance of the team to address than the striker. But we all want a shiny new striker who's scoring a lot of goals because we all feel like we create enough to score, and we don't have anybody who's on the end to be able to score. So, yep, I agree with the right back position. I agree that we have in left back too. We need a bit more attacking attacking verve there. Because the way David Moyes likes to play is with overlapping fullbacks, and we do not have that quality there to be able to play that way. So our play always just looks a little disjointed and a little off. So we'll see, but we all just take a deep breath. Even if we lose the Spurs on Saturday, just take a deep breath.
Sunday.
Is it Sunday? Is it a Sunday game? No, it's not.
Sunday afternoon. Yeah.
Oh. Dude, Sunday I'm off on Sunday. 12:30? Oh, what?
It's a bad time.
I've been saying Saturday this whole time.
It's Sunday, yeah, Sunday.
I really thought it was an early Saturday game. I was getting that City game mixed up with it. All right, well, either way, Sunday.
It'll be fine.
That actually works out better because I play soccer in the morning on Sunday, and I'll get home and I'll watch the game. And I'll watch the game while my girlfriend's dog is at a dog show, so that'll be fun. And she'll be like, "Oh, did you see that?" I'm like, yeah, you see that? Oh yeah. All right, cool. Well, folks, thank you for joining us today. Again, there's a short show today. Just mentally worn out. It's been a long week for me.
Ditto.
And thank you for joining us today.
Appreciate it, guys.
We'll see you next week, whether it's with Jacob or Jake or some other bum I pull off the street.
Some other J name, maybe.
Jay, yeah, a lot of J's in here, man. Honestly, it's kind of crazy. I've got a lot of experience with J's out here. All right. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Up the Toffies.
Up the top.
Take care.